Welcome to the channel. I'm Michael P. for Your Democracy, and we have 318 days left to our goal of winning the 2026 midterm elections. So while the world watches the brink of war in Eastern Europe and a total naval blockade in Venezuela, the White House just got a makeover. Sweet, but it's not for policy, it's for a playground. President Trump has turned the historic White House colonnade into a literal burn book, installing plaques that officially label his predecessors the worst in history, the most divisive in history. He's literally rewriting history on the walls of the people's house while millions of Americans are about to lose their health care. Now, Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt is calling this move eloquent, claiming the president is a student of history. A student of history? This is the same guy who, when asked to explain the Declaration of Independence, the document that birthed our nation, described it as a declaration of unity and love. Apparently, being a student of history means knowing how to spell Barack Hussein Obama on a plaque, but not knowing what the 4th of July is actually about. Today, we're looking at the classless new Walk of Fame and the real world disasters that Trump is ignoring to focus on this wall. Here you can see a portion of the wall with our most recent presidents, including 2 stints for President Trump. And in between is sandwiched is the portrait of Joe Biden, which is really a picture of the autopen that he used to sign a number of executive orders, which Trump wants to make those illegal because they were not signed personally by Joe Biden. There you can see a little better picture of that. And of course, below that, as you saw in the previous one, is plaques for all of the previous presidents where he makes disparaging remarks. We're going to watch a little clip from the Today Show talking about the Wall of Fame.
Raised quite a few eyebrows by unveiling new plaques of previous presidents. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Craig, reporters got our first glimpse yesterday at the president's latest White House renovation along what's been dubbed the Presidential Walk of Fame. You can see there beneath the photo of each president, a plaque was installed with a Trumpian spin on explaining that president's accomplishments or history. The plaques, for example, mock President Biden, who's represented by a picture of an autopen rather than a headshot, reading in part, "Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history." The President Clinton's plaque notes that his wife Hillary Clinton later lost an election to Donald Trump, and Ronald Reagan's plaque claims that the 40th president was a fan of Trump long before the latter ran for office. The White House says the president wrote many of these plaques himself. Craig?
Garrett Hake from the White House. Garrett, thank you.
Other notable inscriptions where Trump talks about some of the other presidents, George Bush as being responsible for wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was kind of a fan of Reagan because he thought Reagan was a fan of his. Of course, brings up John F. Kennedy for the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba. But of course, he displays his 2 non-consecutive portraits and plaques with, and now calling him responsible for the greatest economy in the history of the world and the golden age of America, and the best is yet to come. So we will see about that. So as I said, Karoline Leavitt, White House press secretary, she actually confirmed that President Trump installed these plaques on the Presidential Walk of Fame, quote unquote. And as a student of history, many were written directly by the president himself. We can figure that out from the Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton plaques. And she says it features his distinctive partisan commentary on the past presidents, including insults for Joe Biden and praise for himself. And these reflect Trump's unique perspective on the presidential legacies, written in his own words. I wouldn't exactly take credit for that. Here we're going to see our student of history in action.
President whose picture he put up. It's not fair. So let's give him something easier. Donald, tell us what the Declaration of Independence is. And remember, this is the document in which we declared independence.
Of course, you have the Declaration of Independence.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means exactly what it says. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of unity and love and respect, and it means a lot, and it's something very special to our country.
Look at Terry Moran's face. He looks like a teacher about to call the school psychologist. This is a great drawing. Stay right here. But of course he'd make that face. Trump said that the Declaration of Independence meant unity. Unity is the opposite of independence. How did Trump find the one time that unity and love is the wrong answer? What makes this even more sad is that the Declaration of Independence is basically the colonies filing for divorce. It's the one thing Trump should absolutely recognize.
Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. Folks, this is our president, the president of the United States. And my question to you is, how does he make time for this kind of stuff with everything going on in the world? And that's why it matters that he's doing these kind of things when we've got so many crises going around in our country and around the world. So this is what he's working on. Meanwhile, as we said, 24 million Americans are about to see soaring premiums for their health care insurance. And millions of those will be unable to afford that and will just simply go without insurance. Affordability, top of minds for most of the Americans. We just saw the unemployment rate now rising. Still, the backdrop of the Russian-Ukraine war, and Putin just put his foot down and said he's not making any concessions. This just happened in the last 24 hours. And of course, now we've got a conflict in South America with Venezuela. And Trump was quoted as saying, regarding war, he doesn't rule it out. Pretty scary. So 318 days from now, the 2026 midterm elections. And that's really what our channel is all about, is when we say for your democracy, we're trying to restore the democracy here that Trump has just taken and demolished, with literally and figuratively with his wrecking ball, wrecking the East Wing of the White House, and adorning his office with all this gold, working on this presidential walk of fame that is just classless and shameful for our country. So our goal, these 2026 midterm elections, is to get our democracy back into our hands and really make it about the people and not what's going on currently in the White House. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you all kinds of election matchups and ways that you can participate. And as always, stay strong, be safe, and we will see you in the next video.